Hello everybody and welcome back to our 4th Age Rhovanion campaign. We are taking the battle southwest of Tham with our General Arn of the Northern Wildlands and his reinforcement army that is coming into the east to help clean up the resistance. And I think we've cornered the last big army of that resistance of Easterlings here. We've adopted a similar formation to what you've seen before. We've got some archers in the front, a couple of our skirmishers on either flank. We've got our Variag mercenaries here on the left, a couple of Hillman axe levies, and right in the middle of them are Tier 2 Rhovanion axemen. And around that we've got our scouts, 2 wings of those with our march wardens, and the general kind of back behind. We'll see how the enemy is deployed, and no surprises there. They're basically straight ahead of us. I think I'll just move forward. Now this stone hill over here is going to limit our mobility somewhat. Since the enemy is coming to me though, I will just wait. We're close enough to start shooting at them, and I think that's going to pull them toward us. The 2 units that I'm most worried about here are these Spearmen of Rune, which are right here and here. All the rest are stuff we've seen, many times in the past. There are only a couple of units of axemen here. The rest is warband and skirmishers, with Eastland Raiders as the only cav apart from the general. So they're just moving forward. We're going to take this nice and slow, although if they do approach with their cav like they seem to be doing here, we'll certainly take that opportunity to eliminate them. Unfortunately, they are going to hit our archers, but we break them pretty easily. And let's just move on with this cav, and we'll hit the skirmishers there. I think I'm going to send the march wardens into these axemen, and we'll just keep moving along to the archers with that wing of riders. Let's go ahead and send up. Let's hold the Variags. Wasn't sure if we would need them, but I guess not. All right, we'll move our cavalry back, including these guys. Let's halt our archers, considering they got caught up in the fight there. And this is the warband. There's 26 of them. I'm honestly really not worried about them. I'm more concerned to get my men into position, so let's just do that. They will be easy targets for my archers anyway. So that thinned things out quite a bit. We haven't taken any of the spearmen out yet. But that's kind of what I'm saving the Variags for. Alright, let's see if they're going to move. Now there's no other targets. It looks like they're not going to do anything, so we'll just move the infantry up and kind of slowly move the cav forward just a tiny bit. Rush them forward there. Now it looks like everybody's moving, or at least thinking about moving. So spearmen right here are arranged on the opposite side of the battle from my Variag, so I'm going to rectify that right now. Since this is axemen, I think we'll give them the same treatment. We've got our Hillman axe levies going to throw into those Spearmen of Rune, and Variag's charging those guys. Let's move our light cav around to see if they can do anything on the flanks there. Alright, our Variags have charged in. They're winning easily. Let's go ahead and charge these guys in the back. Got all of our cav here. Let's throw them all at the Chieftain's Guard. And Rhovanion axemen can pile on here. Other riders can go over there. Let's bring the General to bear also. And we're not killing those spearmen, you know, immediately, but we are getting into them. A lot of our light cav got caught by these warband, it looks like, which is not great, but we did at least catch the chieftain's guard there. Okay, and we did rout those spearmen. So I'm going to bring my general down here to hit the softer target, which is the warband right in the back. General's fleeing. I don't know if we'll catch him. Yeah, we're all caught in these other units. So the general's going to get away. Just too many of these guys. All right, as soon as they both rout, though, we'll run up and we'll try to get rid of those skirmishers. This army's not going to flee the field because it's led by a, you know, an actual general family member type. And he's going to live to fight another day. But the more of his men that we can remove right now, of course, the better. Let's see how we're looking here. Yeah, we did take some losses. Of course, we had, like, I'd say we lost about half of our light cav. All right, some of that's going to be friendly fire, unfortunately. Variags still got quite a large number of men left, all things considered. Alright, and that's the last routers there, those skirmishers. And running down the warband and the spears. In terms of our other units, looks pretty decent. We lost some archers here. Our Hillman Axe levies did okay. I think they started off with 80 men per unit, and they're down in the 60s. So considering they're a fairly squishy unit, that's a bit better. I think I took more care to micromanage them this time around, but I did not do so well micromanaging my cav. So, you know, there's only a few limited ways you can spend your attention. But that was our turn. So we'll see where the remnant goes here. Oh, they're going to head back to Tham. Okay. So now they got a general inside the city with, or two actually, with a bunch of units. Okay. Well, I think what we'll do is move down to the south with this army. Tham, I think what we can do is we can kind of call some of them out into the field by moving guys over to threaten these other cities. Either one doesn't really matter to me. We've got this army going over towards Amrundor, and so I guess we can move these guys right down south to Adel. Now, I know I said in the last episode that I was kind of leery of capturing either of these, just in a concern for opening up a front with another faction or factions. I just don't know if that can be avoided, though, after giving it some thought. I mean, the problem is, if we take this settlement and leave Adel, then Rune will be able to threaten us here and here. And actually, let's see, this is Eastland reaches. They won't be able to threaten here, but it'll be annoying. I'll have a couple of cities that I'll have to defend. One way to avoid that problem would be just to hold Tham, to take and hold Tham. But the problem there is then I leave Rune with these 3 settlements along the south. That definitely gives them the opportunity to build up forces and send them after me. And that's just not something I want to be dealing with forever. Another option would be to give some of these territories to different factions I'm allied with. The problem with that is we're only allied with one faction at the moment, and I plan to be at war with them kind of soon. Either because I'm going to want their territories or they're going to attack me once I start expanding into Rhovanion. So there's not a lot of options here apart from just taking Tham and stopping, and I'm not sure how attractive that's going to be. We'll see how this all goes. But in any case, let's decide our next moves here. We do have our army still at Raycoast under Bane, our heir. A couple of seasons that'll have the Outland Dominion finished, and we do have an army bearing down on us, but I'm not at all concerned about that. I imagine they're going to put us under siege this coming turn, which will be annoying. Here we're working on provincial pacification to help that public order, and we do have some reinforcements coming. We're not making money though this turn. In fact, we are losing it. But hopefully that will be enough. So I think I'm not going to bother training anything else. I guess we can take another look around the map at our scouts and what they're observing. We're going to head deeper into Rhovanion. Okay, so they've got the Entwade back or still. Can't quite see. Okay, so this is definitely still held by Rohan, but this is held by Dunland now. So I'm thinking, let's bring the scout back up here. I don't need to know so much what's going on in this part of the world, but I would like to know when would be an okay time to strike Rohan. It might be sooner rather than later. Let's go ahead and end the season. All right, we've got another scout right there. So before we forget, let's move him up. Okay, it looks like Dunland is just going all out. They're getting ready to threaten Aldburg. Have they taken this settlement up here? Okay, they're besieging it. Can't see it at the moment, but there is a settlement here. It's a fort, actually. And maybe I can get him around to get an actual view of it. I guess not. But in any case, it's the fort of Dunharrow. Okay, here it is, the hold of Dunharrow. And this is a place where the king does tend to hold up. It's pretty interesting and kind of lore accurate. At least in terms of the War of the Ring, there was some discussion about Theoden going up here and just kind of camping and missing the action, I believe. And so in the Fourth Age, the lesser sons of greater sires have certainly succumbed to that temptation. And I see this happening lots of times. The heir will either govern this place, and that may be what happened. I think he may have been the original faction heir who took over. So a lot of times you see the Rohirrim's king here with basically nobody else. So I imagine this is going to fall. Although, I don't know, AutoCalc might not be too good to these guys. But it'll be interesting. And then that will basically free Dunland up to just focus on moving here. Of course, Rohan now has the opportunity, because Dunland's thinned out Entwade, to move back and take that out. So I'm just going to keep my spies kind of going back and forth, keep an eye on things here. Look, Waldburg is looking very undefended. Okay, and they are bringing some men over. I can see now as well that Rohan did go and capture Parth Celebrant, Fairfeld, which is initially a rebel settlement just south of Lorien. So that's not great. It'd be nice if that was still in the hands of the rebels, or the Bjornings even, I guess, but okay. I think I will want to get a spy back over here just to observe this, but I can still see that North Ithilien, and therefore minus Ithil, is held by Adunabar, at least for now. It's under siege. And this is now under siege. Dunabar's capital. So Rohan had a big army in the area. It's probably them. And if they start winning over here, that's going to be, a bit of a problem. Because I don't want them to do too well. Anyway, let's get through this news. Finished our hosting halls in the city of Dale, and that means that we are all done in terms of building up the military here. We can now train our retainer longbowmen as well as our tier 2 units, including, importantly, our Rhovanion scouts. We can also train some more basic archers, but this is a little less important. Although comparing the two, you can see that there is a bit of a jump in upkeep cost, a bit fewer men, but all around, for the extra 20 yards of range, for the upgrades in pretty much everything in terms of stats, I think these guys are certainly the better buy. So let's just queue up like 4 of them. We've got plenty of population here, and then we can actually retrain these guys. Now, looking at building, we've got 5,000 to spend. I think that was the only thing that we finished building, but we may have been holding off for some other things. Only 2 turns for Nerig Zagil to finish hosting halls and get us our mountain guards. Yathan Raw, yeah, I think it's much more important that we see what we can do at a place like Dale. So, because Dale is already up to the very highest of provincial development, it's all the way up to the chief province level, which all chief cities start at, by the way. Nice thing about taking them is you don't have to upgrade this chain at all. They're already at the highest level. Is that we can immediately go right to the tanneries and wool makers, the tier 2 version, and get some upgraded armor for all the units we're going to train out of here. That is going to give us a bit of trade income, about 80. It is going to cost us a bit, really 20 or so in terms of land tax. There's a potential for more mismanagement, but we're overall going to be making money from this building. And then at the second level, it's going to give us better armor. Okay. Let's keep going down here. We're still seeing North Rune keeping up the siege of Rathwin. Okay, Arndor is another general coming down to help out. Okay, got to check the public order here. It's still at 70, which is good. And we've got it. We can't forget emissaries. I think I did one in Rovanos, or Raycoast, yes. So we've got one in Bregestelad. Now we've got one in Erebos just to guard against bribery. Okay. So what's this? Thandos. This is the heir. Really doesn't matter if we take out the heir. I mean, it is a family member who can theoretically do things like recruit mercenaries, but it doesn't seem like a big prize necessarily to take him out. So what we want to do instead is I think keep moving eastward toward Amrandor. I think what I'll do is I'll go and attack this army. Well, how about this? We want to get these guys in place to put this under siege so that they, if they retreat from the battlefield, can't just walk back into the city. Alright, so we'll go ahead and queue that up. Now we'll hit this army, and they'll move back. They got nowhere to go now, so we'll hit them with our larger army, and man, they keep cranking out these Spearmen of Ruin. So one of these cities has to be a military policy. I mean, I guess they could be down from Tham, which again is training up men. Noticing that this army has completely bypassed Raycoast, actually. So they're feeling threatened in their capital. They're not necessarily trying to take back their old lands. That's good. I want the skirmishers to be in front of these Variags because I just don't want them to be targeted by archer fire. But yeah, look how small these cav units are compared to at the beginning of this first battle of this episode. All right, well that's why we're bringing more along. Alright, and anyway, this is a very, very small force. They're going to be camping over here, so we'll just move our men forward. We'll speed this up. This doesn't leave us a lot of room to maneuver, but we can certainly get our archers around, pull them out of formation, charge them from a bunch of different sides. This is going to be an important fight to use our infantry for, partly just to preserve our cavalry, but also just because the terrain doesn't seem favorable, and of course we're dealing with two spear units here, these two. Alright, as soon as we get into range, they're going to... Yeah, they're going to be marching out pretty soon. Or maybe they're just going to sit. Okay. It's actually kind of the better move. Alright, all three of my archers are firing. Let's go ahead and bring up this infantry line, including the skirmishers. Some of those guys are going to be hidden in the trees, which will be a nice little bonus. Looks like our archers are focusing on the axemen, which is okay because they've got the lower defense. I also want to get our cav ready to charge in. Yeah, they just gave a march order. But it doesn't look like they're actually doing anything. I guess they're doing a war cry here. So they might be getting ready to move. But you see, we've been firing at them this whole time, and they've only taken like 5 losses. Let's move them up a bit closer. Alright, we're close enough to actually shoot, which means that they're going to be heading after us pretty soon, I would think. Alright, spearmen moving off in that direction. Good. Just use up all of our ammunition if we have to. I think I want to move my hillmen up a little bit. Charging the axemen. Spearmen of Rune have actually taken some losses from either our arrows or the skirmishers. Alright, these guys should be breaking pretty quickly. They're surrounded by our cav and our Rhovanion axemen. Alright, these hillmen are in position to throw if the spearmen get too close. I would love to break these axemen quick so I can move my cavalry away. Right, if they get down close enough, and I think that might be close enough, we will now wait. The axemen are going to get a couple of throws in, which actually do a ton of damage, especially from the back. So let's charge in with the Variags, and yeah, okay, there go their axemen. Get in position behind them. Got our other hillmen axe levies there. You know what, let's bring the Rhovanion foresters back, let them get hit. We've got our march wardens right here in a good position. Let's bring the general up as well to be of some use. So here the Variags are... I don't think they got a great charge because they were chasing a running unit. But they're losing heavily, those spearmen. Alright, I think we can hit these guys. Let's go ahead and hit them from a bunch of different sides. And send in the cav, I guess. That did some damage, but also to us, and I'm really disappointed that these guys did not get a good charge in. They're technically charging, so I think they just stalled out. They got some guys in there early on, but like 1 or 2 men. So I'm actually going to just give them a different move order to get them out of that state, and we'll charge them in. That is, that's pretty disappointing. But it's always annoying in this engine. One of the things that is annoying about it is that you have units that will just move away, like the AI will just move away from your charging units. And I guess that makes sense. You know, it's a good tactic because it really blunts the effectiveness of that charge. So you can end up with this kind of silly situation where one unit is just kiting the other one forever. The AI is, of course, a master at doing that. All right, but there we go. We lost almost 100 men. Pretty disappointing for the small size of the army that we were attacking. Now, I'm not sure if there's another army around. Let's check out in the north and the south, see if there's any units in the neighborhood. I don't think there are from the north, and I don't think there would be in the south either, honestly. Yeah, there's nothing over here. Okay, there's Muldin. This is Khan's territory. Now, one thing we could do theoretically is take this. This is kind of a good choke point because it goes all the way over here. So if we really wanted to be secure, we would want to take this and either hold it and just be aware that we're going to be defending it for basically for the rest of the game, or gift it to a faction like an ally or someone that we're not at war with. So that might be an option. Okay, let's move over this way now with the army. We're in enemy territory. Let's check the supplies. We're still well supplied. So I think you can maintain supply by not using up all of your movement points, I believe. So that's kind of why I'm not going all the way to the end here. I know that this guy's going to be just in enemy territory for some time. But given that he's now pretty far from these slingers, I'm going to move them back to Erebos, where they can contribute a little bit to public order. All right, I think that's all I want to do this turn as well. But here comes another army from the south. They're building up in Thordram. We know they're building up in Tham. My hope is that they're going to pull an army down. So I don't want to take Amrundor necessarily this coming turn. I want to keep it under siege. I want to see armies come out of Tham, especially, so that I can take it, because I don't want to have to assault it when it's like half full. All right, everything over here is the same, so we'll just end the season and see what the next one brings. All right, again, Dunland wants an alliance. I'm very interested in that, but now is not the right time. Okay, now, and I don't like how this Rohan army is just hanging around like it's pointed north. Like, where are you going to go? You're going to go back to mid-deeping? This army's pointed over to the east. If they're going to fortify this place, that just makes life difficult for me. And so it makes life easier for Dunland. Yeah, now they've got Aldburg under siege. They still got Dunharrow under siege. They still got Entwade. But it looks like Rohan failed to take this province, Ostenag Arlad, which is great news. We've got a full stack of Adunabar. It may not be full of good stuff. I can see some Orc Raiders there, as well as some Tier 2 Dark Swords. But apparently enough to drive away Rohan. We'll just keep shadowing this Rhovanion unit. Move these guys down just to make sure that we're not going to get sneak attacked as they move over to the east to reinforce our armies. All right, let's see where we want all of these guys to go. Okay, Adel is actually emptied. So where are they? Possibly over here? Or possibly north. Gee, see, I could assault Amrundor and take it. Because I don't think the armies here went over in this direction. I think they went up north. Maybe I'm completely wrong, though. I'm not seeing anybody. That is extremely unsettling. Alright, so here's what I think I have to do now. I think I have to take this. We're going to take Amrundor. We're going to assault it. I don't know what's in here yet. We'll find that out. We've got an army that I think can handle it. We've got some Hillman Axe levies, Barding Watch levies. These are our only 2 infantry, really dedicated units. We also have Rhovanion foresters who can, push our ram or something. So we'll assault that. We've got, I think, enough cav to deal with this guy and whatever he might have. We just need to take this city, I think, and then we'll decide what to do with it exactly. We've got enough armies in the area to, I think, deal with any problems. Let's move our spy back down. Alright, there's 5 units in Tham. I think they must have moved some people out. Maybe these guys moved their armies off to the west for some reason. I'm really not sure what they're thinking, but now that we've got armies kind of close to each other, I think we want to decide who's staying in Erebos, who's moving on. Because an army could be over here, right? So let's see. Let's just consolidate these guys. See if we can get eyes on anything. Nope, no idea. Okay, so option 1. We can head up here, hit this army in the field, and then move towards Tham. Option 2, I think this is what we're doing right now is I think annoying Rune pretty effectively. Let's head this guy down just to see if there's another army anywhere in the area. And there really isn't. There's nobody around. I don't even think this guy can hit me. So if I wanted to, I could just wait. But let's do this. Let's besiege Adel. We got 2 of their armies under siege. I don't know if we're going to get hit next turn. We could get hit by a large army, but there's basically nothing in here. These would be 2 great settlements to take in the sense that we could sack them or decide what to do with them, whether we want to hold them or not. But yeah, I think that's going to be the plan. Okay, Raycoast has finished its Outland Dominion. Wonderful news. And Erebos is done with provincial pacification. So that means we made a little bit of money last turn, and now we're making 10,000. Great. So, Raycoast. Yeah, a lot of that's trade I can see from the trade routes here coming from the port. Yeah, land tax is very nice. Okay. So this is another place where if we go up to hosting halls, we could get our vassal axemen. But I think we want to go financial here. And this is already set up to be a financial settlement. I think we'll keep that. And we'll maybe just go with a single tier of military stuff. Because tier 2 is going to get... Well, actually, I think tier 2 is kind of good in Rune because it gives us some cav, actually. So yeah, we may build both of these. Otherwise, we won't get any cavalry at all. Okay. But let's go at Erebos first. This is most important. Get that Outland Dominion. That'll be bringing in 1,100. It's going to cost us about 300 in upkeep. Still leaves us 3,400 to spend, which is perfect, allowing us to build our control posts. It'll be nice to actually recruit something out of Raycoast. Still no mercenaries available, but that's fine. I think he's learning how to be a general, by the way. Yeah, he's an adept governor. I don't think he started off that good. He's staunch, despite the fact that we're not letting him control the settlement. Now, we do have the option to build boats here. I don't think that really does anything for us, but if we're going to be taking Belligant soon, which is of course a great idea, then that would become important. All right, so attacks still stalling out in Rathwin. Let's see what we've got trained down here. Okay, we've got back up to 3 Rhovanion March Wardens. You know, we're kind of at a position.
At your service. Secrecy is assured.
What was this army? Of course, I can't see it now. But let's see what's going on here. I'm thinking that we're almost at a position where I would feel comfortable taking out mid-deeping. It's got no walls yet. It would be pretty quick to take. And I think Rohan has been hurt badly enough that they're using up their last good units, like their good infantry guys. Yeah, and so they're kind of stuck with these Forester levies, light cav, light infantry. Not seeing anything too threatening. So we could hit mid-deeping with, you know, a certain amount of men out of Rhovanost. Let's go with another unit of March Wardens to round that out and think about that opportunity, because we're no longer, I mean, I'm not seeing that the Reunited Kingdom is doing great either. They failed to take Minas Ithil yet again. They haven't taken Caer Andros. They do have Pelennor, but they don't have Enorion. So pretty much the Ithil region is not held by the Reunited Kingdom, which is really good. So if we take mid-deeping, we're not going to be subject to immediate counterattack from anybody. Now, of course, the danger is that we might get hit by a Dunabar. They may decide to attack us. But it might be the time to start getting our alliances in order and seeing if we can get that all figured out.
Secrecy is assured. No.
So let's bring our other scouts around. We'll leave this guy here just so we can keep an eye on these two sieges. And then we'll really think about that, because that would be a quick strike. This gets us some good units down the line at any rate. All right, one more season for hosting halls. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. We don't assault Amrundor yet. We wait a season. We wait to see how far and how many men they're going to bring at us, and then we decide if we're going to fight. All right, so we are attacked. Oh, this is a big army. Okay. Spearmen, 3 axes, 2 archers, warband. Then they get these guys. I'm going to withdraw from this. What? Okay. The game doesn't like us anymore. It's decided that we're doing too well. And that was, yeah, that was a lot of BS. So what happened there? We withdrew, but the game decided we didn't have movement points or something. Yeah, heroic death. Screw you. Wow. That was maybe something I should have foreseen. Oh, gosh, how disappointing. Okay. So we're going to chalk that up to some kind of despicable treachery or something. That just stinks. You know, sometimes when you try to withdraw, the game will say, nope, turns out you don't have movement points, or nope, turns out you can't move anywhere, actually, even though it looks like you're in the middle of a friggin' field. So your army just goes away. Now, I don't believe I have ever in my life seen a situation where I have done that to the AI, right? Where I have attacked an AI force who's besieging a city, and they decide to withdraw and just die. So I've never seen that happen to the AI, but happens to you a few times. So anyway, again, maybe there's some legitimate thing going on there with the way the game mechanics are set up to assume that, well, you should know you don't have movement points or something. But I really thought I could have withdrawn from that. So we just lost that army. That was my big reinforcing army. That stinks, but you know what? It doesn't matter. We've got more reinforcements on the way, and you know what? Mountain Guards. 1 turn to train. Yeah, they've got 380 upkeep, but yeah, we'll take 4 of those, please. Now, the next thing we have to do in terms of getting this really going is get population up, and so I think the quickest way for us to do that right now is to go for an herbalist. It's going to cost us some cash, actually. But only 51 land tax, and actually it's going to save us 10 mismanagement. So that's going to bring up our population growth. So as we train these guys, we're not going to just drain the population completely. We now have mountain guards online. It's official. We're bringing down all of these guys. They're going to take vengeance for whatever bullshit happened with Arn and his forces. Yeah, hard to feel good about that. Let's see, can we get away with? Yeah, we probably could, but I don't like having the red face there right now. So we've got these guys coming in. At least now we know where the big army is. All right. And there that big army is. Yep. If I'd fought that, I don't know. We probably would have been okay. The army, here's the thing. The army would have been even further weakened. So what we're going to do at the beginning of the next episode, folks, is we're going to assault Amrun Dor. I'm going to cue that up here so we can see what they've got. 210 men. Yeah, skirmishers, axemen, and the ruler, Lorgan of West Rune. So we're going to kill him with Drang of Western Rhovanion and his army, and we're going to sack Amrun Dor. I don't know if we're going to keep it. I think we're definitely going to exterminate it. But we'll see how that works out. Thank you very much for joining me with this somewhat lengthy episode. But I hope you'll stick around for the next one. Until then, as always, take care.